Welcome to the Brewtiful Game. As always, I am Blake here with Ferris.
Hola.
And Ron.
What's happening?
Coming to you live. Not really. Live, we'll record it from the Brewtiful Game studio. The festive fixtures have come to a close.
Oh.
Boy, that lasted a long time, it feels like.
But it was awesome.
Oh, it was great.
Yeah. At the same time, it went super quick.
Yeah, so many amazing things happened, like storylines. Oh, so good. So we're
Flurry of games.
Some transfer news.
Yeah,
we do a little bit.
Yeah, we're going to talk about, that's really what we're going to talk about, really, is these last couple of festive fixtures and roll into a little transfer news.
And a little FA Cup.
Oh, FA Cup, that's the other one. I knew I was leaving one out. And the FA Cup.
The FA Cup.
All right. And I guess we can talk a little bit about, or just mention the Chupacabra Cup, because we know that's
Chupacabra.
semifinals are on the way.
Chimichanga Cup.
The Caribou Coffee Cup?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are they a coffee or are they an energy drink?
Energy drink.
Like the same.
Caribou Coffee is like a competitor to Starbucks. Every time I hear the Carabao Cup,
Yeah,
I just hear Caribou
Carabao.
Coffee Cup. Like that's what I hear.
Carabao Cup.
But first things first, we're going to do some beer. Today we've got two different varieties. The first one is a listener beer.
Love it.
We're
Snap.
going to do part 2 of what Matt Call sent us for the holidays from Portland. This one is super cool.
Looking forward to it.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'll just hand out these beautiful bottles right now to you guys as I will read you part of what the description was that Matt sent in his email. So without further ado, a drum roll, please.
Joy to the world.
I was waiting for someone to start that. Here we go. So here you go.
Holy, look at that thing.
These are nice big imperial pint
wow,
bottles.
that is an imperial pint bottle if I've ever seen one.
From Pfriem Brewery in Portland.
What a slick.
Wow.
Sorry, not
looking,
from Portland. These are from Oregon. I apologize. I'll get into that in just a second.
It's a slick label on here.
This thing looks very classy, and this brewery's pretty cool. They do limited run stuff. So here you go. Here's what Matt had to say about this. This first beer I sent you is from the Pilsner from Pfriem Brewing, and Pfriem is spelled Pfreim.
Oh, that's nice.
So Pfriem Brewing in Hood River, Oregon, which is a little more than an hour east of Portland. This is the brewery's signature beer, a 4.9% ABV, and has a Pilsner, and has a crisp and refreshing finish. I chose this brewery beer for a couple of reasons, but primarily because the Pfriem recently won the 2018 Mid-Sized Brewing Company of the Year, and its Pilsner won silver this year in the German-style Pilsner category.
Ooh.
It's going to be a good beer, y'all. He said, I purchased these beers while visiting the brewery on a day 6 before I left for the MLS Cup. On December 6th, the day before I left for the MLS Cup. I was in Hood River on business and could not leave without visiting this brewery. For a small city with a population of less than 8,000 people in it, it has 6 breweries, including the popular Full Sail, as well as Double Mountain and Ferment Brewing.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that crazy?
8,000 people. They've got a wild, good bunch of breweries there.
So just real quick, their story, basically 2 things happen for a reason. Josh Pfriem said he'd been on his career path his entire adult life, soaking up brewing knowledge, devouring literature, concocting experimental varieties in his shed, biking across Belgium, professionally brewing.
Oh, back up. Biking Belgium?
Across Belgium.
That's awesome.
Professionally brewing and knocking on the doors and picking the brains of some of the greatest brewers in the world. It was at a seemingly random introduction at a child's birthday party in 2011, however, that allowed Josh Ken Whiteman and Rudy Kellner to form the brain trust that would eventually lead to the launch and rapid growth of Pfriem family brewers. They shared a deep love of family, the Columbia River Gorge, and of course, great beer. But more importantly, each brought his own unique skill set to the table, creating the means and vision to not only make a great beer, but to operate a great business. A year and a half and thousands of hours of hard work later, in August 2012, Pfriem Family Brewers opened its doors for the first time, and the 3 founders realized the beginning of their unique dream. If things do happen for a reason, then what better reason than to champion family, community, and create one of the world's best premium craft beers to be enjoyed by all who love them? We can't think of one. And
That's cool, man.
I love this. Our goals for the brewery are a modest one. To build a business that was tightly integrated with our family lives, to honor the place we call home and love so dearly, and to create a warm, friendly space where others could experience our creations. Our goals for the creations themselves are anything but modest.
That's awesome.
And a little description of the beer from the website. The story of Pilsner starts, I love they actually throw some history on this. The story of Pilsner starts in 19th century Bohemia when a Bavarian monk smuggled a special yeast to a brewmaster in Pilsen. The story of Pfriem Pilsner starts in the Pacific Northwest, where it acquires the aroma of fresh grass and flowers and a touch of honey. While there are no monks involved in this Pilsner, there's still a crisp and spicy finish. Crisp, it says 4.9% ABV. Crisp, snappy floral hops is the flavor profile. This beer is available annually. The malt, I love this. Gambrinus and Weyermann German Pilsner. Carafoam, acidulated. I got to look into that. Hops are Pearl, Saffir, Tenang. I always think I say that wrong. The Tettnang. And Spalt Select. The yeast is a lager. The tasting notes are, shines brilliantly gold with fluffy white foam, aromas of fresh grass, spring flowers with a touch of lemon zest, quaffs from the glass. The mouth fills with zesty spiciness, a touch of honey, and finishes crisp, snappy, and refreshing. I guarantee you I'm going to love this
phenomenal,
beer.
yeah.
Like already.
Acidulated.
Is
water where some sort of acid is added. And typically it's like lemon juice or lime juice or a mild vinegar. And this prevents cut or skinned fruits or vegetables from browning so as to maintain their appearance.
Holy crap, we just learned something, y'all.
Yeah, we did.
So
that's interesting.
We ready to try this bad boy?
I like the label says proudly crafted and humbly offered.
Well, and the label
So cool.
is a very like slick. It's black. The only color is gold for all the kind of artwork and lettering. It's a light green for the Pilsner name up top, but it's very classy looking.
Yeah.
You know,
Since there's a lot of German.
the description on the back of this Pfriem Pilsner is as refreshing and flavorful as its European cousin. And what are you doing over there?
I'm trying to get out a German glass for this German beer.
That's right. I guess German American.
German American.
I forgot your giant glasses I got you guys for Christmas.
The big style like pint glasses would be perfect for this.
Yeah, but with the big soccer ball at the top.
Yeah. So we're pulling them out of the box and I'm going to pour a beer into it.
The Erdinger gift set. I love it. I was so happy when I found those things. But yeah, this beer is really slick. Enjoy it. 40 to 45 degrees Fahrenheit. It just looks classy. And everything
it does.
is a small run. Obviously, this one says it's available annually. But Matt was saying like they do a lot of limited run stuff. And if you go to their website, holy cow, they have so many crazy beer styles. I want to
really?
try. Yeah. Like
Nice.
they have quite the impressive list as you're going down. It lets you know when things are available, but we definitely, I feel like, need to take a trip.
To Belgium?
Well, go to Portland because
Oh, yeah,
that's where
no,
We
this is.
bike
true.
across it?
Yeah, right?
Or this is an hour outside of Portland, but yeah, they got a Beechwood IPL. They got a pumpkin beer. Obviously, a lot of people, but they have Roche beers, rye lagers. Ooh, Ron, we've never done that. We have rye pale ales, but a rye lager, rye PA. They've got
Right.
See what they did there.
Yep.
yeah, but just like some really, really interesting beers. A maple barrel aged smoked porter. Oh man, a kumquat farmhouse ale.
Amazing.
Japanese lager.
That sounds good from this brewery. That does not sound good if it was from Butternut
Squash?
Brewery.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, no. Butternut Brewing, yeah. Yeah, man. They've golden coffee pale. They got some really fun stuff I want to try. So I'm excited to try this bad boy. The
Yeah, me too.
Pfriem Brewing Pilsner. I'm going to use my awesome new bottle opener from Ferris as
Yeah,
well.
let's see if it, here we go. Does it work still?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah, it
that
still
worked
works.
great. You want to pass that? Here,
Oh
one
my
thing
gosh,
over?
when you guys open this bottle.
We can't wait.
Oh man, it smells glorious. That like grassy
good.
smell you want from your Pilsners. Holy cow, man. Ooh, this is gonna be good. Ron failed again.
Yeah,
it worked. It came off. He
worked.
got
It came
off.
Ours worked like real
All right.
nice.
That's real nice. All right, let's see.
Yours
what
hates me.
Yeah.
it smells so good. Let's see what this bad boy looks like.
Pour it into the glass here.
I got a feeling pour slow because I think it's carbonated pretty heavy.
Yeah, you can hear them bubbles.
Oh man.
A very nice clear straw color. Good head retention.
I like these. This bottle is 1 pint, 0.9 fluid ounces. So I got a little extra left in the bottle for it. Oh my gosh, this smells fantastic. It is, a very light color straw.
God, that's a beer drinking glass right there too.
Those beer glasses are pretty fun with the soccer
They
ball.
are with the soccer ball on top.
Look at that.
All right.
Gorgeous.
Oh my gosh. That smells delightful.
Yeah, it smells awesome.
Pilsners are, the more I have gotten into beers and I've tried some crazy stuff, the more I really love a Pilsner. A good classic crisp Pilsner is hard to pull off, especially if you're trying to match it to the German style, you know?
Yeah.
All right.
And it makes the simplicity of it so difficult.
Yeah, it's hard to pull off. You can't mask it by throwing a bunch of crazy flavors in. You have to do it just right.
You have to do it right.
All right, gents, here we go. Thank you again, Matt. Cheers, buddy.
Thanks, man. Sláinte.
All right, Matt, if you just want to go ahead and send down a few more of those.
Yeah, that's fine. No, yeah, just go ahead.
Oh,
That is a
man.
tasty Pilsner.
Ooh, what a great malt finish.
Man, that's good.
Oh, my gosh.
Just a hint, just the slightest hint of bitterness at the very end after a nice sweet surge of malt. That's really good.
Got that real grassy aroma.
So crisp.
Wow. That little slight honey note. Man, that's good. Damn.
So good. Well done.
Thank you.
I don't know, as we get done with this, Ferris has a last holiday beer to sign us out of the festive fixtures.
I do. I don't know why.
That's why I wanted to start with this one first.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
I figure it's a Pilsner, so we should start with a clean palate.
Absolutely, because
you know?
we actually do have a lot of festive fixtures to talk about before we roll into some
My
FA
gosh.
Cup stuff.
Forgive
We
me.
can kind of fly through them a little bit here.
I just
beer.
want to sit in the corner with this beer and drink.
Man, this
God,
is
it's so good.
Instead, we get to sit in the studio and talk soccer amongst friends.
Well, don't forget, the previous one was that Doggy
love
Paws Christmas
what?
stout that he sent. which
Oh
was
yeah, that's
fantastic.
right. Yeah, that was
good.
really good.
That Boxing Day special beer list was quite a good collection of beers.
Yes, it was. And Matt, thank you again for bailing my ass out because I forgot the beer that I
that
was
you're-
meant to bring.
tonight.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's act like it's on purpose.
It's all planned here,
So
folks.
we wrapped up our festive fixtures. We're actually on week 21 that just wrapped up.
We just concluded week 21. There was a whole slew of games between Boxing Day and New Year's Day. That was week 20. And then from New Year's Day on, which covered that, I think, Tuesday, Wednesday,
All the way through
Thursday,
the
that was
Liverpool,
week
Man City,
21
yeah.
before we got into the FA Cup weekend, which is always the first weekend in January. So, yeah, we got a little bit of both here.
Lots of
All right,
craziness.
so this 5 from week 18 actually is from week 20.
Let's see here. All
so-
the way down to, I think, Burnley, West Ham covered lies.
Oh, no, you're fine. For whatever reason, my
Yeah,
app.
Burnley, West Ham.
No,
covered
you're
week
fine.
20, I think.
My app opened the Boxing Day special.
That would be why.
Content.
Yeah, no,
I was
that would
really
be-
confused about this. I was like, these scores all look wrong to me.
Yeah, no.
Gotcha.
So yeah,
Here we
I
go.
think all the way down to Burnley, West Ham covers week 20.
Perfect.
And then from that game, from the Bournemouth Watford game down, covers week 21.
So we got the end of the festive fixtures. Again, like Ron said, it feels quick, but man, it feels like a month happened within those short time because of all the narratives that changed.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, on Boxing Day, all of a sudden, there's a 4-point difference, or there's a 7-point difference with your top two teams. You've got it's it's crazy.
It happened so fast.
Yeah. So we, like I said, just got some matches here we want to throw up. Blah. Fulham at home against Huddersfield, they win one.
They do. And against both of them are in the bottom, and they still are in the bottom. So
Yeah,
this was
but
a really big game. This is one of those 6-pointer games that
It puts
you always hear talked
Huddersfield
about.
in a bad way.
It does. And they almost got through with at least a point. The major talking point of this was not that Fulham won, but kind of how they won in the dying moments, if you will. So from about the 80th minute on was really kind of worth the watch here.
Yeah.
There was a penalty in the 80th. And Mitrovic is the designated penalty kicker. So if you're not familiar with a soccer club or team, before you go out onto the field, you always designate who's taking the penalties. And if that person goes off, then somebody else is. So, if Mitrovic goes off, then it can go to Kamara or whoever.
Or
both were on the field at the
only time that'll change otherwise also is the penalty kicker designated will hand the ball.
Correct.
They can make
Like if
the
somebody's
call.
on a hat
Right.
trick or, right.
They can make the call to hand off.
Correct. So in this, for the penalty, Mitrovic goes to get the ball. Kamara takes the ball away from him and adamantly takes it away from him. And Mitrovic doesn't really put up a fight, but basically says, okay, good luck. You better make it.
Yeah, if you're gonna take the ball
Especially
away
after
from the designated player,
And the
You
guy you
better
took
make
it
it.
away from, there was a bit of a, whoa, you're doing, this is supposed to be me. And then it was, okay, take it. He walked over, gave him a kiss.
Yep.
Good luck.
Yep. And
then you
missed. And
you
didn't
miss
miss it. Not like he missed the goal. It got saved. It was a poor penalty. Very poor penalty.
And let's be honest.
This is a huge
this
point
point-
for Fulham they need.
I wanted Fulham to lose.
I didn't because
like-
Fulham's kind of my second team in the Premier League, this year. So I didn't want them to lose, but I was actually really mad.
Did you see
I was
the
like, Kamara, why
post-conference?
the hell would you do that?
Did you see the Claudio Ranieri post conference?
Yeah, he doesn't put up with it.
He said, what the guy said, what did you think? He goes, I think I could have killed him.
Yeah, like, he doesn't put up with that. Like so did the entire fan base. We're like, what the? And I'm sitting. I'm actually at work, so I kind of have it on one of my side screens, and I'm just like, what are you doing, Kamara? Let Mitrovic take it. Like he's a designated penalty.
Well, you said, if you're gonna do it,
take it. You
better
better make
score.
it. You better make it. And he missed it.
And terribly.
So, right.
Yeah.
So then, 10 minutes later, in the 91st minute, there was kind of a play on the other side of the pitch, and Huddersfield was putting on a little bit of pressure. But then Fulham breaks, and they break quick. Sessegnon comes flying down, Mitrovic comes flying down, and a beautiful ball is played, I think, by Sessegnon.
Yep.
Right? To kind of free up Mitrovic, and he just a lot of pace and power goes from about midfield. Oh no, I'm sorry. That was Sessegnon. He just plays Mitrovic in with a beautiful, like perfectly laid ball, and Mitrovic hammers it home across the goal bottom corner. The 91st. It was a beautiful strike, beautiful play, beautiful counter, and Mitrovic just saved Kamara from a huge embarrassment, save the club at this point because they need points. They need every point they can get, and these 3 points were huge for them because between now and the end of the season, I don't know if they're going to get a whole lot more points.
Yeah, those bottom two could easily stay those bottom two.
Which right now are Fulham and Huddersfield, yeah.
well, the next they have Burnley, then Tottenham. This is the Fulham schedule. Burnley, then Tottenham, Brighton Hove, Crystal Palace, and then Man United. That's your next 5 if you're Fulham.
Yeah, not a terrible run, but you're not looking at a whole lot of those saying they're going to get points
It's a
from
terrible run when you have a negative 28 goal differential.
Yeah.
Because all those teams can score.
And we'll talk about Fulham here in just a little bit as well with the FA Cup, too.
Huddersfield struggles scoring.
Yeah.
That's helped Fulham out. But nobody else got that issue. Like, was negative 28.
Nonetheless, a big 3 points for Fulham, and Kamara kind of gets bailed out here.
Ooh,
Courtesy of the guy that he took the ball off of. So,
you wonder if there's a little, in locker room rivalry a little bit now.
I think that
that might
Mitrovic
have
scored
ended it.
later. Yeah,
Yeah.
like because he's kind of like, okay, don't do that again via that goal. But if they had drawn or even lost, then they could have gone back and had some words to each other. And my guess is a lot of the team would have probably been on Mitrovic's side instead of Kamara's side.
Sure, of course. Did Kamara ever come out and say why he took it?
I didn't see.
I think he
him on
smartly
that.
stayed quiet.
Yep, just left it alone because he got bailed out. So why rehash that up?
Mitrovic didn't even really go into it
I
either.
just
he didn't.
wonder if the press
I
went
think
over
they
and said,
avoid-
hey, what was the deal there?
I think they avoided that
No.
completely. Or I think the players avoided that.
It's probably
completely.
smart.
And I also think that the manager, who
Claudio
thank
Ranieri.
you, that when he came out and said, "Oh, what did you think of it?" Like I would kill. I wanted to kill him. Like I think that also kind of ends it in a way as well because he's saying what everybody and what every Fulham fan is
Right.
thinking about that time was, why did you take this ball off of him? I want to not like really kill you, but just like I want to kill you for
Yeah.
And he kind of said it, and that kind of was like, all right, well, the manager clearly thinks the way that we all do, so it kind of just ends it there.
Huddersfield's got a bit of a tough road coming up. Huddersfield takes on Cardiff City, and then Manchester City, Everton, Chelsea, Arsenal.
If Huddersfield took on a flock of sheep, they'd be in trouble. They're not.
You can't score with a flock of sheep. You're in trouble.
They're not good.
No,
Which is a shame because they really fought to stay in last year in a fun way, and woof,
Yeah, but this run of 5.
they are not making it so. Star Trek reference.
beam me up.
Beat me up.
Something I know.
Speaking of getting beamed up, all the way to 17th place out of relegation. Huge win for Cardiff City over Leicester.
Super crazy.
They win 1-0 away at Leicester. That's again another at the end of the game. That's a huge 3 points for Cardiff.
Oh, abso-freaking-lutely. And it came off of the back of, again, this was another game like the Fulham and Huddersfield game where all the action kind of happened real late because these are two teams, not necessarily Leicester, but Cardiff, fighting for points. They are scrapping
and Leicester's
for points.
been on a pretty good run.
Yeah. But it came on the back of a 74th minute penalty that was taken and saved. A huge, huge save by the Cardiff's goalie in this that really kept them alive and allowed them, I believe his name was Neil Etheridge.
He was man of the match.
Man of the match,
Yeah.
Abso-freaking-lutely. And that then allowed them to go on, and in the 92nd minute, a wonderful strike from Camarasa outside of the box that was
Gorgeous.
That was a hit meant to win a match. It was gorgeous. Without that penalty save, do Cardiff have enough to get points out of this? I don't think they do. So that's a huge, huge point in the match that came in the 74th.
They were blown out by Leicester City in every statistic.
Well, and that win, they're in 17th, but they're tied now with 16th and 15th, Burnley, then Newcastle. So that's big. I know that's still near the bottom. Yes, Southampton said they were 16, which you should be worried about because Southampton looks like they could make a push to stay in the way they've kind of been playing.
Possibly.
So Cardiff City, well, Cardiff, Burnley, and Newcastle, all three of those teams sitting there still need to hustle.
Yeah, they need every single point they can get, and they have to play for their lives.
Yeah, and I think they will stand a fighting chance because they have Neil Warnock, who is doing an amazing job with this club, with the budget that he has, which is essentially none, and the players that he has, to have them above the line coming out of the toughest, most congested time of the year in terms of matches, to have them above the line at this stage really brings hope to the club. And a lot of it's based on him and how he's kind of organizing this team. They don't give up a great deal of goals. They don't score a great deal, but they're almost having a something like Burnley-esque type of
scrap
year, scrap and just get these points when you can. Because they played Man City, I believe, in week 21. So obviously you're not going to that game thinking they're going to get points. So they really need to get something out of this game, and boy, did they. All three is exactly what they wanted.
So this brings us to our next match. Tottenham 1, Wolves 3. Tottenham blow it at home. And basically, Tottenham went from being in the race to out of it within like 3 days, 4 days. Like
a very Spursy move.
It was a very
it felt like they were out of it. Yeah, absolutely.
Sure. And yes, they're still, currently 6 points away from top. So they aren't. But at this moment, it felt like, holy cow. Because, hey, if things had changed, Liverpool had won, then no, they really probably would be out.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So they got fortunate the way things turned out so they could still be competitive in the title race. But man, what a just poor performance from Tottenham.
Poor second half performance.
Yes, fair enough.
Tottenham, they've been on a streak here. They've scored 10 goals in the previous two games.
No, it was 11 goals in the last two games.
Something obnoxious like that. In the first half, Kane scores fairly early, and you're like, all right, Tottenham are going to roll. But Wolves is not that type of team that's just going to roll over. We've seen that all year. They've played very well. They stay organized. They have a good back line. They have good attacking counter threat there.
You can't take a break against this team.
You can't take a break there.
Nope.
And the first goal came off of a corner. And Lloris, this type of goalie that he is and what he's capable of, and the World Cup winning goalkeeper, really should have made the save off the corner. I know it's a little bit tough, but you gotta punch that ball away when it comes in. And then from there, it was just all downhill because about 10 minutes after that, another goal went in. And then in extra time, another goal. Or it wasn't quite in extra time. It's like 4 minutes after that, another goal went in, and Tottenham were just done for.
I like your headline, Wolves bite late to hand Spurs a surprising loss during the Festive Fixtures. That sounds legit. That's a good headline. Yeah.
Put that in the Daily Mail or something.
Yeah, that's a good one.
What great kind of a clinic in counterattacking football for the goal in the 83rd and 87th. Like just textbook, if you will. Just pick up the ball, 2 passes, you're past the midfield. You create some very nice opening. You have multiple people on the attack, pulling defenders. You play the nice cross ball. Ding, you score. It was a clinic in how to counter. And also, the Wolves had quite a few good chances that they dragged just wide or just over the bar. So if some of those were a little more connected, it could have been worse than 3-1.
Oh, yeah.
And look, again, I know that the way things would end up playing out, Tottenham will have 48 points, Liverpool at top of 54. They are in the title race. But it did feel like when this occurred, this was the like conundrum of everybody who feels like Tottenham should get a little more respect from the pundits. But this is where everybody goes, oh man, I rate them so highly. To make a run for it? No.
Right. It
They're one of the best teams in the league.
Great confidence.
Will they run?
Right.
Make the run? No. And it's such a strange thing because they have so much talent. They're so good. But
it's
that's
always
the
been,
difference.
can they be consistent
If you've
throughout the
got
entire
the Liverpools,
year?
the Man Cities above you, you can't lose these.
Right.
Well, also, here's a question. This is not a new story for Tottenham, right? Almost every year, they're rising to the top, well, just short.
Yeah.
Every time. So where do you put the onus?
How do you hold on to your talent? Will you start losing the young talented players you've got who are like, we always get close, but man, I kind of want to go.
Right.
I want to go get some silverware somewhere,
And will that affect you bringing talent? And where
Will that affect your manager?
That's my next question is, where do you put the onus for that? Like, who's going to take that?
Well,
is it going to be the top, or is it going to, or the front office, or is it going to be they're going to end up blaming the manager?
Are we back at like going, well, the big talk at the beginning was everybody shut up because they started winning so well, but they didn't make any moves.
Well, and
going into the year, they
right.
didn't make any pickups, and
so right now, I mean, you kind of understand it because they're getting ready to open up this new state-of-the-art stadium. So obviously, a lot of your funds, if not a vast majority of them, are going to be put into that and not into the transfer of players to bring in, especially if the club thinks that they have a good core there, which they do. They have a very good core there, and they have very strong players. So it'd be interesting to see what they do in the summer. Is it, okay, we needed this year to get the stadium open, to pour the funds into getting it open. And then in the summer, when some revenue is starting to come in, because didn't you say that the goal is to have it open here within the next first competitive match, or did that get backed up again?
There was a thought of like there was a big game coming up. Could they be? I don't know if it was like Tottenham and Liverpool or Tottenham and Man. I can't remember. But
it's Tottenham and Man United, but I don't know if that's going to be at the new stadium quite yet. But if they get it open this year and they have some funds coming in, then do they go, okay, now we can shift our focus and our wallets towards bringing in players to kind of back up this core and possibly keep this core.
Right. Just hope you don't lose those key players.
Right. And on the Wolves side of things, you know what they kind of remind me of? And maybe a little bit of a stretch, but they kind of remind me of the Leicester of 2016, where they are strong defensively, but have the talent and the speed to counter like they did in this game. And they've done that a lot this year. They've not given up a lot of goals. Remember, they drew with City earlier in the year. I believe they drew with...
Didn't they beat City?
Did they beat City?
I thought they
might
City.
have beaten City.
I thought they were the first to beat City.
That might be it. Yeah, they beat City, but they do it by kind of sitting back and then countering because they had the speed with Jimenez and Johnny and Traore. I mean, they have the speed to get down the field and counter, and that's what took Spurs out of the game towards the tail end there. They just sat back, kind of absorbed a lot, and then when the time came right, boom, they just countered as fast as they can. And then the big thing for Wolves is they are clinical when they counter. We saw the same thing today in the FA Cup match that they played in with Liverpool. So this Wolves team...
Not messing around.
They're not messing around. They're right now. They're gonna be hanging around for
Wolves getting to an FA Cup final would be fun.
The what would?
Wolves getting to an FA Cup final would be fun.
Yeah.
And right now the Wolves are sitting in 9th place on 29 points.
A -2. That's really good for a team that just came up.
Yeah, especially at this point in the season, because normally, normally the holiday season really weeds out the teams that aren't, and really puts a strain on teams because of how many fixtures, how fast, and the Wolves have really shone brightly during the fixtures here.
This moves us to hanging out at Anfield for Firmino getting
for the Firmino
ridiculous
Fest.
The only good thing about this match is Firmino's on my fantasy team. That's the only good thing about this match.
Oh,
to me.
speaking of fantasy,
Yeah,
Will you back up
he
top?
just jumped to 4th,
I'm in 4th right now. Yeah,
which means he just
These
started
festive
paying
fixtures.
attention.
No, I finally got some luck going my way, and I finally got players, and I started making captains. I had a feeling about Pogba once Jose got sacked, so I picked up Pogba for cheap for like 7.8 mil,
smart.
and then captained him for the 2 games where he went like 2 or 3 games where he had 4 goals and 3 assists. So he kept boom, 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 but
Yeah, I've been I sank to 8th, and the past 2 weeks I've been working like crazy, so I haven't been able to play with the fantasy team very much, and I'm paying the price for it.
and it shows.
I'm going for top, baby.
Yeah,
I don't think I'll get there, but
yeah.
I'm going up table.
I had a good week actually, mostly because of Firmino, but it didn't matter. I'm still sitting at 10.
Well, and anytime you play Liverpool and Firmino, Mane, and Salah all score, that's usually not good for the other team. And in this case, it was Arsenal who, in the first 15 minutes, first 10 minutes, maybe 11, looked good. Had a goal, a nice goal by Maitland-Niles. But that Arsenal back line was a concern going into this game, and it was shortly exposed after that.
So many injuries.
A lot of injuries.
We don't have miniature Kylo Ren, Bellerin out there. Like, it's like...
Have you been seeing what he's dressed up as?
Oh, yeah,
he
dude.
looks, oh, my God.
It's like Ali G hanging out over there.
It is like Ali G hanging out
What's
over
up,
there.
my man? Yeah. Like, yeah, it's...
God almighty.
It's, yeah, I mean, Arsenal's got no defense right now. That's... 5-1, not remotely shocked.
Right, which is sad because all they need is just a little bit of a defense because on the offensive side of the ball,
I went
they
with a
got plenty of
good
talent.
friend to go catch the game at an Irish pub, Hagen O'Reilly's, and over in Winter Garden. Lovely place to catch a game.
I watched one there not too long ago. Yeah.
Really good shepherd's pie, by the way. But, and I think I've said this in the show too, and even he was like, your team though reminds me of Liverpool like 3 years ago. Like, you've got this ability to score, but no ability to defend. And that was where Liverpool sat at a few years ago. I mean, look, this doesn't shock me. And as an Arsenal fan, I'm still happy that things are new and different. And just please make some... Actually, there are some transfer moves going on right now that are kind of fun. One's for a winger and another for a midfielder that's good. And that's great. And I don't know if there's a lot of defensive guys to snag right now.
They were talking Gary Cahill for a bit, but I don't know where that currently is, and I don't know if Chelsea would ship Cahill across town there to.
Currently, it's a current no. But
you wouldn't do it when you're 3 points apart from each other. I don't think right now. That's especially
right. That would be interested, right?
Because if you handed over Cahill and Arsenal knocked Chelsea out of the top 4, and that's how you ended the season,
you'd be pissed.
That would your fans would get
It's just like us giving away Matic.
Yeah,
that was so stupid.
Yeah, but I mean that was in the summer, wasn't in the.
I know, but it was
right. Well, same thing that when Arsenal gave away Robin van Persie several years back, that won Fergie his last title before he retired. That was stupid. You hand over United to you hand United your best, most prolific striker that you've had for the past several years.
I don't understand if you're a top 6 team, why you give a great player to another team in the top 6.
It depends. There is also how many years they have left their contract. Is it this or they let him go for free? It could be things like that too. Play into
Just
it.
Don't do it because they are going to be direct. They're going to be direct competition, and so far, I've seen more examples of how that bites a team than how it works for the team. So, don't give it away to another top 6 team. Get him out of the league.
Sanchez is fine being on Man U. Doesn't bother me. He did make an appearance this past go round, but
he did do very well too. And the winger you were referring
hamstring
to,
injury he had under Mourinho that was so bad.
Yeah,
What's
just
so
kinds
bad?
of.
It's miraculously healed.
Just
Praise the Lord.
Just
Pray to Gunna Susha.
it just
He went to a Midwest preacher and got healed.
it got so much better.
Bless you, my Sanchez.
Because I remember that. Like Mourinho, this is a bad one. Yeah.
That winger you're referring to is Denis Suarez, currently with Barcelona. Yeah,
yes.
but it just says the Gunners approved a move, but a £35 million bid was
And
rejected.
there's another one.
So.
There's another one too. A kid from Milan who Milan has enough money to hold on to him, so he might be going to Arsenal. Those are the two big ones that are like not tinfoil rumors. Like
You don't need to bring in a winger. You need to bring in a center back. So find a center back.
Yeah, fair enough. I think it's a matter of if that kid's available and he's really good, you snag him now because he's young. Because you may not have the ability, the availability of some center backs right now may not really exist.
Yeah, I did like. I thought I saw. Sorry, Ron. I thought there was a rumor that they were trying to do a swap for Ramsey and Benatia, who is a center back for Juve, and Juve was like, no.
Right.
Who's Ramsey?
They just kind of snickered.
Benatia is one of our top center backs on the team. No.
Yeah, why would we do that?
Why do we want Ramsey? We have a guy named Dybala he'll work just fine. Thank you.
What do you think of your goalkeeper situation at Arsenal?
I mean, I feel like he cannot be judged with that back line.
I think that's fair. Yeah.
I like, has he made a mistake here or there? Yeah, but good God, he works harder than he should have to because of that back line.
He just always seems out of
it's-
position.
It's very, well, I think part of that is to do with that back line. So he makes judgment calls of they don't have it. So I guess I should. It's just hard to say with that back line. I think if it was a okay back line, it'd be easier to tell. But right now, I'd worry about the back line before I worry about him.
Yeah, I feel like he's got stone hands a bit. Like he's really not good at catching and possessing the ball. Most of his were all knock away. And I don't think that if you have a defense that doesn't have the wherewithal to look around for the ball and you're the keeper spilling it or punching it away, I think you'd want to just hold on to that ball if you could.
But I don't know who you're going to get right now.
Well,
I mean,
that's true, but
yeah.
I'm just saying he seems out of position and he seems like he's got stone hands. That doesn't help. So...
Yeah, but I mean, I'm inclined to agree with Blake just because who does he have in front of him? And let's wait and, if he's doing the same thing next year with a proper back line,
He won't last.
he won't
long.
last,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, I think he's not probably the best you could have gotten, but I don't think he's the worst.
So thank God we didn't get Joe Hart.
True.
I'll take. We're fine.
Both are good-looking blondes, though.
Yeah, no, we're fine.
Hey, get Hope Solo out there.
Do a way better job.
She'd have that defense whipped into shape.
Yeah, she would. She'd be yelling at everybody. Oh, what the hell are you wearing?
You grow a beard, or what are you doing? What is this? What is this wispy thing?
Is that a half hat? Is that a sailor's hat? What the hell are you wearing? Can't take that off.
Well, that brings us to the next game, Burnley West Ham. Burnley 2, West Ham 0. Chris Wood puts one in, and McNeil puts one in for Burnley.
I primarily put this game on there because we haven't had a good Chris Wood goal in a long
what's
time.
hysterical? I looked right at my wife when that goal was scored. I said, Ferris is going to put this in the pod so he can talk about some early Wood scoring.
Damn right. Just go ahead and read that headline.
What is your early Wood hardens Burnley's 3-point stance?
A kind of a rare win for Burnley.
Yeah, and them a lot like
an important win.
Oh yeah, a lot like Cardiff and a lot like Fulham needed a win at this time, and a real big win because they're still down there and they're going to be in a scrap all year long. But a big win and 2 points, and then not giving up a goal that helps your goal difference just a bit there. So a very, very good 3 points for Burnley. And if Chris Wood is starting to score, which he scored in the next match that we'll talk about here in a bit as well, that's a good sign as well. Because then you have him, Vokes, and you have some people that are starting to get confidence going here. So
It's about
very,
time.
very good win for Burnley.
If they can keep up their winning ways here, it's about time.
But who they beat? West Ham, a team that should beat Burnley.
Yeah.
West Ham is another one of those clubs that's like they're fine. They're not going
West
to get relegated.
Ham is right where they need to be right now. They're in 10th. They just sit dead center.
Yeah, it's
like they're
the new
there.
Brighton Hove Albion. Not Brighton Hove Albion.
Southampton?
West Brom.
West Brom.
West Brom and Albion. That's what I was saying. Yeah, they're the new West Brom. 10th, cool 10th. That's fine.
Hey, keep getting that Premier League TV money.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but
especially since you're in, they're in London Stadium, right? Not Wembley. It's London Stadium. No, London Olympic Stadium.
Win some games, man. Win more games.
Yeah, and they've had a little bit of the injury bug. If you remember, Yarmolenko went out earlier. He's out for the entire year due to a severe injury. He was really hot for them. Felipe Anderson and Arnautovic are their two main guys right now, and they are putting in the goals. They also just got back. What's the tall lad? Good Lord, with the hair.
Crouch.
No, I wish. He plays for Stoke.
I know. I was.
His
Andy
podcast
Carroll?
is 50. Yeah, Andy Carroll.
And the last second, Andy Carroll.
Yep.
That's one in the back of the net.
That's what I was waiting for.
Yep.
And he just actually came back from injury. Well, he's always injured, but yeah, they have some talent there. They've been hit a little bit with the injury bug, but they're about where they probably should be this year, and that's just middle of the table. They'll get some wins here. They'll get some losses. They'll score some goals. They'll give up some goals. They'll be there.
Yeah, they're basically batting a 500 average in their last 5. They've won 2, lost 2, and drew. Mm-hmm. So they're doing
10th all the way.
Yeah, they're doing everything they can to cling on to that mid-table, and that's not necessarily a bad thing.
It's a bad thing. They need to be better than they are.
You feel like they should be, but
Yeah. West Ham is the pork slap of the Premier League.
I think that's harsh.
No,
I think that's harsh.
Yeah, that's way harsh.
That's harsh for West Ham. Yeah.
No, because
That's harsh.
Because it's one thing to be like, look at that can of pork slap beer. That looks fun. That's gonna be so good tasting. Look how kitschy it looks, and then it's not. So that's West Ham. Look at it in London. They got some money. They got a good state. What is this?
That's harsh.
Whee!
I agree. I agree.
As much
Ferris.
as I hate to say it, the Fulham is
Fulham,
probably
new,
the pork slap of the.
That's Moo Thunder.
Well, they're part of the
There's a distinct difference.
Oh,
I mean, Huddersfield is clearly the pork slap.
pork slap. Moo Thunder would be Fulham at the current time.
No.
And what was our other crap we tried?
Not one of us said, "Hey, pork slap. That sounds like it's going to be fun."
Oh no, it was.
Never,
Yes, that
never,
can. It's so kitschy. Yeah, it's like we got to get this. Look at this thing.
We never said that.
I sure as hell didn't.
We never said
What was that? What was that other beer? The third one?
Snapperhead.
Snapperhead.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That is.
We didn't bring that up because that
What is
IPA.
that?
It was an IPA that tasted like soap.
Farmhouse IPA.
It was a farmhouse IPA that tastes like soap.
It tasted like the
Only
farm.
brewery. They still have a Hefeweizen that I still contend we need to finish the completion.
You need to
And
because
That's all you. 3 strikes and you're out.
Hey,
Exactly.
Hey, as Manchester United and Arsenal keep creeping to get closer together in points, I'm feeling a bet towards the end of this year. What am I saying? A bet between all 3 of us because the race will probably be between Arsenal, United,
true.
and Chelsea for the
fourth,
4th
yeah.
spot.
Right. Ooh, that'd be a tough bet.
Yep. The 2 losers got to drink the nastiness.
Whoa.
Oh,
See, you already like the idea.
yeah, I gotta do.
Yeah.
Even though it's the most horrendous thing on the
we got to
planet.
get a little closer to Chelsea, I think, before Ferris and I jump on board just to make sure it's reasonable.
Correct.
Moving on from the early wood to probably the most exciting, weirdly exciting game of the Bournemouth at home against Watford, 3-3. Did that first half?
Within 5 minutes, or within 16 minutes, they scored 5 goals.
That's so crazy.
It was boom, 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 all of a sudden, and then they couldn't score squat in the second half.
Yeah, and then it was kind of a snooze fest.
Yeah, it was literally the first half.
But what an exciting 16 minutes.
Yeah, it was a blast.
Crazy.
And Bournemouth kind of getting back to being Bournemouth from earlier in the season. Scrappy, holding on.
They
scoring.
love to score goals at home.
Yeah.
Like that is, they always get into these shootouts at home, which is fun for the fans there. It's fun for their team. They have a lot of good young, pacey players that can put the ball in the back of the net. Frazier and Wilson and Stanislas. I mean,
Ake.
Josh King. I mean, and then Ake at the back's not the best defender, but on a set piece, he can put the ball in the back of the net.
Yeah.
He's good. So yeah, it was just a fun match. Watford, they're up there in 8th on -1, hanging strong, and they've been surprisingly good all year. I think a lot of it. I think did we have them going down this year?
I don't know.
Some of us had them going down this year.
Because
I think I was one of them.
Ended the season pretty rough last year.
Yeah.
Bournemouth at 12th at 27 points. So a win for Bournemouth all of a sudden moves them up to 8th place.
But -9, and that's
rough.
That's rough. That's the worst out of a pack from about 8 down to 14.
But that 8 to 14th is pretty tight.
Yeah.
Or 8 to 13th, really. Like it's a pretty tight
within
group.
3 points of each other.
Right.
So I expect that mid pack, the top 3, the top 3 and 4, because I think 1 and 2 will settle themselves out quicker as the season goes. Even I think it'll be a bit of a race, but I think we'll see where that's going to go. And that 18th spot, because actually that brings us up to Southampton. At Chelsea at home against Southampton. And Southampton holds on to a draw against Chelsea. That's a huge point for Southampton, who has been playing better since they've switched coaches.
Yes, he has really fixed up the back line and really have fixed Southampton's lack of shape.
Well, and I know Southampton's at 18th with 16 points. And at 17th, 16th, 15th, you have Cardiff, City, Burnley, and Newcastle at 18 points. But I would be really worried about the way Southampton is doing right now if you're those teams above them.
Right.
Because Southampton they might do it. They might hold on because he really, like you said, he's really helped define how it is they need to play with the players that they have.
Yeah.
That's a huge draw for them.
Yeah, I think the best thing Southampton did in this game was they kept shape and they really supported each other as a defensive unit. There wasn't a whole lot. Don't get me wrong, Southampton had their share of chances, but man, Chelsea just held on to that ball and just kept patiently probing, but there was just no spot for them. Chelsea outpossessed them 71% to 28%. It was just crazy, and they were taking shot after shot. They outshot them 17-6 in this match. And Chelsea came off the post, dragged it wide.
Yeah.
They had an offsides call that was not. Hazard Morata was onside and scored, and it was called back.
That'll be fixed next year, right?
Yeah.
VAR next year.
So it should have been 1-0 to Chelsea, but called back on offsides. Chelsea were the better team, but that defense on Southampton.
But if Southampton can hold on like that against Chelsea in that situation, I have more faith in them at this point than a Cardiff City or a Burnley sitting above them.
Sure.
If they can hold into that, like.
Yeah, I think not only are they getting a good manager bounce, but they're getting consistency after that bounce. And I think, like we were saying, they're a lot more organized. They're a lot more defensive minded as well, and they've kind of freed up Nathan Redmond and Ings and some of those players up front to score some goals. But it starts from them being more organized now, and I think he's really done that, and that's how he's kind of gained the players' trust to play that way. But then the fans have also seen that, and that's why they're so on for him. And if they can keep it up the entire year, which so far they've seemingly have kind of passed that bounce, Southampton will stay up again.
Yeah, and I think if you follow Southampton at all, I think the person who's been unlocked the most with this manager change from a defensive standpoint is their center back Yoshida. He had a great time. marvelous game against Chelsea. Just
Yoshida, you look great in red.
Marking
Come on over.
Making
just could use him.
Putting himself in the passing lanes, really interpreting and really the vision he has for where a team is going offensively was brilliant in this game, and he's the one to watch. If you need a center back for your fantasy team, mark that guy on it because he's going to earn you some points.
I like the way you wrote this. No goals on the day for Chelsea, but guess what?
What happened?
You have to say it, Ferris, because you have to say his name.
I knew that's what you're looking at me for.
Yeah, you have to do it.
Okay. On Wednesday of that day, which is the same day this game was played, so Wednesday the 2nd, Chelsea FC completed the signing of Christian Pulisic from Borussia Dortmund for an American record fee of around $74 million. I'm not done yet. I still have to say his name one more time. Pulisic will remain at Dortmund on loan until the end of the season, joining the Blues in the summer for the 2019-20 Premier League season.
Amazing.
There are some negatives to that.
And just like a Chelsea player, he's off on loan. Go figure.
I was going to say, well, some of the negatives to that is Dortmund has no reason to play him.
Well, and they really haven't been playing him because Jordan Sancho for them right now has kind of gotten in ahead of Pulisic at the time. Right. I don't think Dortmund's going to do that, though. They're not the type of club that's going to have that kind of... they're getting paid handsomely for him. This is the highest American transfer fees and one of the highest we've seen in a while just in general.
So Pedro, though, he gone, right? That's got to be.
You would have to think. And honestly, this feels actually more like Hazard could be gone, too.
Nope. It's a cover for Willian.
We saw those applause. Hazard knows he's done.
Because
I think he's done after this year. I think Hazard's done. I know he's not saying it out in the press, but I think
it's Willian. I think Willian is gone.
Pedro
before, but Pedro
has not been a wiener at Pedro's,
and he's also 74 years old.
Such a player in Pulisic. Yeah.
No, I think Willian's going to be gone first. Willian is a great winger. And Pulisic is going to fill that slot when Willian splits at the end of the season.
But even then, like, Willian doesn't even start all the time. So,
but Willian's been, I think it's for Pedro, Willian has been less than happy for, I don't know, a season and a half almost.
Yeah, but I mean, it'd be interesting if you guys, because I think Chelsea's hope is that Real Madrid start to win again in the league because they're having a horrible La Liga season, and you want them to do well so they don't come and look at Hazard in the off season. If Hazard leaves, Willian leaves, Pedro leaves, yes, you'll have some cash to spend, but then who do you bring in? And Pulisic is a wonderful player that he is, and the immense talent that he is, and what he can bring for years down the road, because he's, 21, 22?
20.
Not even.
Yeah.
That's not going to fill the boots of a top 10 player in the world at the current time. So it's a good signing for Chelsea. I think it's a good move. Well, I don't know if it's a good move for Pulisic at the current time, but it's a good signing to have some depth there. Hopefully he doesn't get loaned out and those type of things, because that's what's happened to Salah, who was at Chelsea for a while, to De Bruyne, who was at Chelsea for a while.
De Bruyne, Salah,
Lukaku, you can just kind of go on and on and on. Hopefully that doesn't happen. I don't think that's what Chelsea's going to do with him. Well, but if
Mourinho's not there, so that helps a lot for some of those choices.
Yes, it does. Yeah. But the weird thing about this wasn't that the signing necessarily happened because
the manager didn't know?
Exactly. Yeah. That the manager did not know this was really going on.
I know we've been like, wow, Chelsea's actually doing really good this year, and we didn't necessarily expect that under their new manager. When that was said, it made me think that the manager felt temporary to me again.
It did.
Well, this is an increasing problem we've been having
ever since Michael Empanada left, or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Empanada.
Now I'm hungry.
What the hell is this name? I look it up.
Our owner instructs the front office to do a lot that maybe you should just bring the manager in and get his opinion. That's the whole point of having a manager. What it does do is all of this stuff about the managers not knowing, it kind of backs up what Jose Mourinho was, and not Jose Mourinho, Antonio Conte was complaining about shortly before his departure, which was, I want to bring in all this talent, but either I'm restricted or I'm told no because we're trying to bring in other people who don't fit the scheme, and then that falls through. And we brought in Morata, and Morata had a great time in La Liga, but he has failed to produce here in the Premier League.
Yeah.
So
Manolo was the guy I was thinking of.
To me, that was the biggest out of the whole thing was it just brought up that what's been happening at Chelsea except for the last few years.
There's talk about Abramovich, who is our owner, selling the company.
Well, I mean, he's still trapped on an island outside of the United Kingdom. Isn't he?
He still can't get into the country.
country.
So he's like, helicoptering around, calling on his sat phone to make all these deals. But I don't know. There's some uneasiness.
Just reads of a disconnect there from the front office to the coaching staff.
Yep. Even if he had no say in it, to not know.
It's not that he didn't like Pulisic and didn't want him. It's just he had made. I think he said in this conference that he was approached in the summer or a while ago. What do you think of him? And he was like, "Oh yeah, he's a good player." That was it. And then all of a sudden, fast forward a few months, and now $74 million, which is like 50-some pounds, he comes in. I mean, I think it's a good thing that he's staying on loan right now at Dortmund. I think he can work his way back into the squad. And he may get in some of the German Cup matches. He'll help them finish off a year, which they've been having very, very good time over there. And Champions League, right. So they do need some depth there. In the summer, it'd be interesting to see because it's more interesting to me to see what the other moves around Pulisic and what Chelsea does.
I just like that you're going to say Christian Pulisic a lot more now.
Yeah, Christian P, baby.
And so moving on from the Christian P stuff, another big transfer news, Cesc Fabregas moves to Monaco.
That's smart, though.
Yep,
Yeah,
Fabregas, followed by Hazard and Pedro and Willian.
Not true.
And Gary Cahill.
But I'm going to miss Cesc Fabregas because that man still has some of the best through ball and over the top pinpoint accurate touches. He's incomparable. He is 97 and does it from the side of his walker. I grant you, but still,
he's going to kill it in Monaco, though. He's really got a good couple of seasons left.
I wish him nothing but the best. What a great player, smart player, and even though it was smart to send him off, I am going to miss him. Great player.
A great player for the Premier League in general.
Can we talk about that? Premier League, win some championships, finish out your career in Monaco.
Oh, that's a tough life.
Jeez.
Yeah, what a rough
Way to
life.
go.
And with Thierry Henry, who is the new manager there in Monaco? So.
Way to go, dude.
Yeah, and
good job.
Before that he was in London, and then he went to Barcelona, and then he went back to London, and now he's in Monaco.
Yeah.
That's a tough life, ain't it?
Yep.
Okay, and you get to play one of the most awesome things in the world, soccer. Good for you.
Yeah.
But in all honesty, he's going to be missed, but I think it was a good move at the time. His legs for the Premier League aren't quite there.
Agreed.
And to be able to keep up with the Jorginhos and Kantés is not quite his style anymore. He kind of needs to sit back at Monaco and be like a holding-ish midfielder. He's not great defensively, but can ping balls around the field and become more of a distributor for them than anything. And when you have Jorginho in the squad at Chelsea
And Conte,
you just don't really need him anymore. So,
well,
there was one more transfer, right? The other big transfer of the week. Wayne Rooney transferred to the DC jail.
Okay. Here's what I have to say about
public
that.
drunkenness and cursing.
Okay. Here's
and profanity.
Right. Yes. So here's what a friend of the pod sent me last night. I go, hey, saw that.
Trying to figure out where to drop that one.
Right. No, it's fine. We can do it right now. It was pays fine after December arrest on public intoxication and swearing. Saw that. Sounds like every weekend for me. If he gets arrested, who hasn't gotten a little drunk and cursed a little bit? I don't know where he was. Is that where he was at?
Yeah, he was at the airport. You gotta be cool with the airport, though, man. You can't
Good for him. Welcome to the States.
I love the picture that someone had. They added all these prison tats to his face and neck. They were like 20 minutes in a DC jail.
I hadn't seen that one.
That's great.
But here's out of all the headlines that come across as players being charged for
the boy out of Liverpool, but not the Liverpool out of the boy.
I like the some of the headlines that came out of that. Wayne Rooney gets hairdryer from wife Colleen in blistering phone call over arrest.
Gets a hairdryer.
It's an English term for just gets yelled at and just gets
getting
tired.
crazy.
Yeah, getting
It
screamed
pushes your
at.
hair back.
What a great phrase.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Well, here's the thing: out of all the arrest headlines that come across on athletes and
he wasn't
senior,
doing drugs.
he wasn't beating his wife, right? He wasn't doing any of that. Wasn't killing people.
Touching underage kids.
Right? Like
his wife.
he did probably what everybody like. He probably sat there at the airport, had a few pints, got a little
they were
loud,
like
and
profanity. He was like, "Well, I'm English.
Yeah, like this happens
from the north. Like it's what we do. Like what? Yeah."
Somebody compared him to David Beckham and said he wasn't that great. It was on.
Oh, that's hysterical.
I saw something in the story. Is David Beckham dating Angelina Jolie now or something?
No, he's married to Posh Spice.
Is he still? Oh, I saw a picture of them too, and I almost picked up the freaking tabloid at the damn grocery store. I'm like, what?
They almost got you.
What is it? They almost got me.
got
And I was just like,
Yeah,
all right, that's not gonna time.
he's with Posh, right?
I thought so, but then who knows?
Well, I mean, it's true. Fair enough. Fair enough. He's too busy trying to get that club in Miami going.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Still, no, I know you like have the team, but good luck.
Yeah, good luck.
Right.
I love that Cincinnati and Nashville will be there first. Still, man, what a mess. So we had a couple more festive fixtures to wrap it up. We had to talk about Huddersfield and Burnley again because another big 3 points for Burnley. They beat Huddersfield 2-1.
And another Chris
so
Wood
that
goal.
you can say Wood gets straight to the point, netting his second ball in a week.
Look how proud of himself he is. He's got a grin from earphone to earphone.
I almost had a headline that said the pod welcomes back Jackie Pendergrass's favorite New Zealand wood.
Amazing.
That's okay.
Jackie Pendergrass.
He's New Zealand, not Australian.
Right.
Chris Wood and Jackie Pendergrass. But a big win for Burnley, not so much for
2 in a row.
Huddersfield. 2 in a row, huge for them. Get them above the line and keep Huddersfield below the line. But other than that, not a whole lot to say about this match. Chris Wood and Ashley Barnes, they're the ones that are going to get goals.
If Burnley limps through, say they just barely manage between like 17th and 16th to win the stay in by a point or two, Sean Dice keep his job?
Again, I think, yes. I think even if they go down, they're going to go down with a fight, and Sean Dice keeps his job.
Yeah, because I don't know who else I'd snag. Right. Now, he'd be on a timer at that point.
If the first 10, 15 games in the championship would put you at like September in the championship, and they start so damn early and just go boom, 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 boom. If the first 10 or 15 games down there, that doesn't go well and they only get 1 or 2 wins out of that, then yeah.
By the way, I would like to see that league get covered more here in the States because
it does.
Exciting.
It's actually on
the ESPN
ESPN Plus.
Yeah,
ESPN Plus.
But a lot of craziness going on over there.
League.
And then, of course, the big game of the whole festive fixtures. Who would have known? They planned this out this way. Man City at home against Liverpool. I think you watch it and you go, yeah, these are the best 2 teams in the league.
Oh, without question.
Yeah. It was a fun game to watch. Yes, Man City wins 2-1. Could have.
It's good that they won, though, because it gets the title race really on now.
Could have gone a different way. I mean, that's how that game felt. Title race is on. Now it's a 4-point lead that.
I think it's not. Is it still?
Yeah, 4 points.
4 points
over Man City.
Right.
Liverpool's got 54. Man City is 50. With Tottenham at 48.
What a match! I think the most interesting thing about this match was watching Liverpool lose. They lost their attacking threat in the second half.
Well, Man City, Arsenal says you're welcome because we let all their strikers get tired out scoring all day long on us. Days prior.
There were no overlapping runs. There was not that intricate one-touch passing. Granted, you're playing a very decent defense. They're just a lot of times a Liverpool player would get the ball on the wing and there'd be no movement on the rest of the team. And that's really uncharacteristic of this year's Liverpool. So I don't know if it was tiredness. I don't know if they were kind of out-coached and outplayed by Man City, but it wasn't.
Well, there were some changes too. There were a couple of starters in the back line that, while still good, haven't started that much this year.
City?
For Liverpool.
Oh, and for City as well. They had a very makeshift back line. I think Aymeric Laporte was playing a fullback there, and he's a center back.
Now, the interesting thing about this, you can make arguments, maybe Klopp was like, I'm going to play this a little conservatively. Who knows?
I think there was just respect shown for each side.
Both
and
teams were afraid of the goal scorers on the other team.
And then before the game, they were doing the whole, I love you. No, I love you more. You're great. No, you're great. Hey, don't hang up on me. Let's keep talking. Like, they did that whole back and forth thing of like, just throw respect at each other in terms of you're the best manager. No, you're the best manager. No, your team plays great. No, your team plays. Like, they went back and forth. So
yeah, it was a giant love fest.
Right, so the game started off that way. And
not
I
a
think
Jurgen love fest.
City realized, and I don't watch, I didn't get a chance to watch the game. I just caught extended highlights of the game. But I think City, this was a do or die game for them, because if that lead got to the 7 points or to 10 points,
fun going forward.
City needed to get in that and have that race really in.
But at a 4-point difference, this becomes super fun in the sense that both teams, every game, balls to the wall, score as much as you can.
Yeah.
We got to win. It should make the following matches, not that they necessarily wouldn't have been, but very fun because, say if Liverpool was up with a 10-point lead, they can go, hey, we got Champions League this week or next week. Let's relax a little bit here. Let's, now it makes it like, oh, man, you got to win them. You got to win them all. Because this is going to be tight.
And it's going to be a race. And they don't play each other again in the league. So this is going to come down to them. And the rest of the top 6 here could affect how this plays out. If United play City really good, that's going to help out Liverpool.
Yeah.
If Tottenham hand one to Liverpool, that's going to help out City. So it's going to be a race, and it's really going to come down to exactly what you're saying. Who can score more goals? Who can keep getting wins? Who can keep getting wins? Who can keep getting wins? And this is Liverpool's first loss. They now have lost 2 in a row with the FA Cup.
Right.
So let's see how they bounce back from this and go. I think they'll be fine. They have the talent. And
my gut for this is that
tight.
This it rips away the invincibles. Like, can we be undefeated? But it also lights the fire. And I think Liverpool could get a lot more dangerous going forward.
Can they be undefeated? Can they do the domestic double? And can they do the treble? Were all abolished in 1 week.
Yeah.
Now it's just the league, Champions League. That's it for them.
And the other nail-biting moment or so of this match in the 20th
this was you on the
minute.
FIFA, you'd have thrown the controller through the
hell
window.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
In the 20th minute, Sadio Mane is put clear, clips a shot past City goalkeeper Ederson. The ball rebounds, but in an attempt to clear, the City defender Stones
Johnny Stones
slid in at the exact perfect millisecond and kicks the ball clear. Just one
wafer thin.
Yeah, 1.12 centimeters away from the ball scoring and clears the ball.
And Joan,
1.12 centimeters.
That's not a lot.
That's 11 millimeters. That's like that much.
And Stones had to kind of do. It was a phenomenal clear off the line, but he had to fill for his own mistake because he walloped it off his own goalie, which then carried the ball back to him. And to say that that has to be since VAR, or not since VAR, but since the Hawkeye technology, which they use for goal line, has been implemented into the Premier League, that has to be the tightest that they've had yet.
1.12 centimeters.
It's a game of inches. Well, centimeters.
And none of, I can't speak for you guys, but I could not believe that ball didn't cross the line. And then goal line tech, bing, and you're like, how is it any closer? Can
you imagine if we didn't have that? What kind of controversy that would even be?
Right.
Like there's no argument now.
Right. There would have been no right answer to that.
Insane.
Oh, but what an insanely amazing moment in that match in the 20th minute.
So we want to go through the FA Cup, some of the real quick results, because Ferris has a headline for each one, but we don't know what they are. We have to leave it to Ferris. So you have a beer.
I do have a beer first.
We'll do your beer before
and we'll go through that kind of quick. All right, so this is a beer that we have talked about on the pod and that we know of the brewery, but have yet to have anything from them.
Ooh.
Color me intrigued.
Foreign or domestic?
Domestic.
Ooh.
He's got our little snifters over to the side for our little...
All I will say is... bop, chicka wop, nah, bop.
Oh, no.
Bop. It's not that beer, but it is
Is it from?
It is from Hanson Brothers Brewing Company.
Yes.
Amazing.
I wasn't going to try to do Premier League headlines to this with all of their like hit songs, but that's the only one I really knew, so I could not have had sufficient headlines.
Amazing.
So this is Hanson Brothers, based out of Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Amazing.
The Hop Jam Festive Ale. It's a spiced farmhouse ale. What's weird is there's not a whole lot of info on it, but you can visit their site. It's www.hansonbrothersbeer.com, and they're obviously a small business based in Tulsa, Oklahoma, founded by 3 brothers and friends who are passionate about craft beer. A few years after developing our vision and perfecting our recipe, we have debuted in our home state of Oklahoma and across the Midwest with our flagship beer. That is the Hops, not Bop.
Oh,
Let's get that straight right now.
Okay, sorry.
Which is a full-bodied, delicious pale ale with unique toasted malt signature and refreshing hoppy finish. Their first love is obviously music, which over the 20 years as musicians
There you go.
and entrepreneurs in our band Hanson. Everybody's heard of them from the mid-90s and on.
Well, Bop. That's
Yeah. We are, so they've just remained close. They are a bit into craft beer and sold, and we're giving away a free song with beer when they first started, which is kind of cool.
That's brilliant.
Boom! Here's a song, and you get a beer. But yeah, their site is there's not a whole lot on this beer or the other beers besides the Hop, but kind of a sleek site, and you can kind of find the
go one of two ways.
retailers. Now, here's the thing that I also want to bring up: a retailer of theirs is actually in Florida, Lake Buena Vista, in the Disney Epcot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I knew it
that.
existed, because
Oh,
they
yeah,
came
I didn't
and they
know that.
played here, and they had the Hop beer like on like special
Yeah,
tap
I didn't
there.
know that.
Oh, funny. So where did you get this?
So I did find this at Total Wine by me. I was looking in the seasonals section, and there was a lot there. And so I was like, oh, man, okay, no.
You saw that, and it was
We've
like
had this, we
glorious.
don't
Yeah.
have this. And like, this isn't necessarily a bottle that necessarily like shines out at you in the seasonal section in terms of like
sunlight came down and shone on just
and I was
that
like,
beer.
does that say Hanson Brothers? And then I got out my phone. I'm trying to Google it, but my service in that building sucks. So I'm like walking around holding this bottle, make sure nobody else takes it, trying to find a service to make sure this was actually the Hanson Brothers that we all had thought of and talked about. So I have no clue how this is going to taste, but the only thing I have is on Untapped. It says smooth and balanced with bright, clean flavor from wheat, barley, and rye, rounded out with spice and citrus notes from the addition of coriander and orange peel and a fresh bitter hop.
Weird. It sounds like a wit beer
It
ingredient.
is It is a Saison farmhouse
Okay.
ale.
Oh, Saison. All right.
Interesting.
Yeah.
God,
So,
I hope this
I have
is
no
good.
clue. I honestly have no clue, so I apologize if it's bad, but it can't be any worse than butter nuts.
God, that brewery.
And we're just having it out of a single pint, so we're going to just share it. And it says beer plus music on the bottle equals awesome. We are committed to great beer, and with each brew, we help you discover new music. The awesome is that a portion of our proceeds go to help communities in need. Find out more at hansonbrothersbeer.com.
Awesome.
All right, let's do this.
All right.
Crazy.
Bop, this has got me curious.
This is the Hop Jam Festive Ale.
I hope this is good.
A Saison that I assume is going to be hoppy.
It's another farmhouse ale, though.
Well, Saisons are farmhouse ales. So, I mean, like, we like Saisons, DuPont and all them.
Yeah, that's fair,
Good.
but
I mean, Saisons, that is what a farmhouse ale is. You still just thinking of Pork Slaps farmhouse ale.
Yeah, that's something completely different.
What if we find out that they contract brew through Butternut Squash? Or Butternut
Butternut-
Brewing. No, Butternut
I
Squash.
feel like the good people of Oklahoma would not do
Ah,
that.
it's fair enough, fair enough. It's nice, like copper color.
Yeah, it's a beautiful color. Okay, dokie.
All right, man.
Grab your poison there, fellas.
All right, gents. Beer number dose. Hey, it smells good. That smells, Ron, that smells like a traditional Saison. I mean, it's got
Ooh.
It's got the smell. All right, y'all. Here we go. Bop.
Bop, cilantro bop. Bop.
Lunch and bop.
Very caramelly.
Mm-hmm.
Eh?
I don't know how I feel.
Slop.
Slop.
No, I don't. It's not.
Okay, it's no butternuts.
No,
right?
And no, we're nowhere near that.
No, I can drink this.
Yeah, we're nowhere
But
near
there's
that.
not a whole lot going on.
No,
other than
saisons usually have a ton of like that. Well, the idea being a farmhouse ale, it's all the spices at the end of the year are going to go bad. You throw it all in.
This is a much more sweet version.
Yeah, it is really
There's
sweet.
a lot of like honey flavor in the mid there.
It's a fine enough beer that doesn't quite taste like the style to me.
Yeah, and I don't.
If you would have just told me it was a farmhouse pale ale or something, I'd be like, oh, what's that? And I might, but to call it a saison is
Well, and like that's what's on on tap. It says saison / farmhouse ale. So
got a lot of bread on the back
yeah,
end.
I would lean. I mean,
Well, look, we're not going to judge the brewery till we actually have hop.
this is true, which is their like flagship, beer. But yeah, it's different. Which I kind of figured it was going to be different.
It's a classy looking label. You'd buy it not even knowing that it was them. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
it's not like it. Yes, it says Hanson Brothers on it, but it doesn't necessarily look like it's the musicians.
It says hop jam. That's about as much as
You just got jammed. Jammed.
yeah. So
All right, Ferris, you apparently have some brilliant FA Cup headlines.
oh no, not headlines. We are going to play What the What? It's the FA Cup.
Our first game show.
Our first game show. And guess who our contestants are? Come on down, Blake. Come on down, Ron.
Oh my God, I'm on the game show? Oh my God, I'm so excited.
Okay, here we go. I'm going to talk like this the entire time. The rules of the game. I will read out the teams and the score line.
God.
I will then ask, what league do you think X team is in?
Oh, God.
I will then ask, what's the difference in the number of league places between the two teams? Closest to the number gets the point.
Oh,
1 point for each correct answer. Highest number of points wins. What the what? It's the FA Cup. And then what the what is, what's the league, and then what's the difference in the
So
places.
you have the Premier League, then you have
so-
the Champions
yes.
League or
So-
Championship League, right?
Your
Or EFL.
so your 5 football association leagues are the Premier League with 20 teams. That's the top division. You then have the Championship with 24 teams. You then have League 1 with 24 teams. You also have League 2 with 24 teams. And then finally, the National League with 24 teams. So you have 5 leagues to pick from.
Okay.
So,
Why doesn't it League 3?
Let's play the feud.
Let's play the feud. All right.
good luck, gentlemen.
Minus all the sexual harassment.
This is for round 3 of the FA Cup, which just concluded today. So, your first game, Accrington Stanley. 1-0 over Ipswich Town, courtesy of a Ben Key goal.
A pretty one,
Billy
too.
Key, you mean?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
It's Billy Key Williams from Empire
Billy
Strikes
Key
Back.
Williams. Yes, you're right. So, what league out of those 5 is Accrington Stanley in? No cheating, gentlemen.
I'm going to go with League 2.
Ron?
I'm going 3.
There is no League 3.
Well, that would be the National.
Sorry, the National.
You both are incorrect. 0 points. They are in League 1, which is the 3rd tier, technically. But it's
Just
called
below
League
champion.
1. Yeah,
The-
below,
yeah.
below the championship.
The championship. That's what I call it,
So
championship.
0 points off the bat. We're off to a good start. Now, how many places are they in between? So, Ipswich Town is in the championship. Accrington Stanley's in League 1. I can't do that voice the entire time. What's the difference in the number of league places are they?
16.
Ipswich, I would have known they were in. I know they're in champion.
Right. Well, I'm
Yeah,
telling
yeah,
you that
yeah.
to give you a little bit more of understanding.
So
of
if they're in League 1,
which is a league below the
just
championship. Ron said 16.
22.
Ron gets the point. The difference right now is 13 places.
Ooh.
because Ipswich Town is, I think, believe last in the
You tracking
championship
this?
at the current time. I am. Don't worry. I'm keeping score. So, Ron, 1 point.
I mean, it's going to just be down to luck for the most part. But yes, I want to know.
Yep, and no cheating again.
All right.
Okay, we move on. Gillingham, 1-0 over the powerhouse of Cardiff City.
Poor Cardiff.
Yeah, an Elliot List goal in the 81st minute.
Elliot List sounds like the name of a
Mobster.
independent film. Elliot List. This summer at Cannes.
Elliot List, librarian.
The cool thing is,
Fixing the Dewey Decimal System.
the cool thing is, I actually didn't mention this earlier, but I actually watched the Accrington Stanley and Ipswich Town game on the ESPN Plus app. They showed all of the FA Cup games.
They showed all of them.
It was
fantastic.
And you're watching these games from across the globe that are in this like small town with these buildings and
these
not buildings, like
tiny
apartment
little
buildings and
stadiums.
fields, these tiny
Like
stadiums.
a guy who doesn't pay for season
So
tickets because
cool.
his house is behind the goal.
Yeah, it's so cool.
Yeah.
So, anyways, Gillingham 1-0 over Cardiff City. What league, gentlemen, is Gillingham in? I don't know if I'm saying that right.
Gilling,
League 2.
League One.
Ron with the point again. League 1. Cardiff City, obviously, in the Premier League. So how many places, League 1, Gillingham, are away from Cardiff City?
Cardiff is 17th right now in the Premier League.
You're going down another league, and then another league.
So
And where are
it was
Gillingham in the league?
20, 22. I forget how many he said was in between. So I'm going to go 32.
Ron, what's your guess?
28.
Blake, you are the closest, so you get the point.
Nice.
46 places in between. That's not the worst of them.
And they
they beat
beat 'em.
Cardiff. Again, that's not the worst of them when we talk about
no, but it is
places. That's pretty.
I feel like it is the worst for Cardiff right now.
I think that's going to be
Right.
like Oldham Athletic and Fulham.
Hey, we're getting there. Don't you worry.
Ugh.
That's a difference. So
and another
huge win.
I love the
for
next
them.
match is another slap in the face.
Right?
Oh yeah. So the next match, Bristol City 1-0 over Huddersfield City. This one isn't as bad, but still an upset considering that you had a Premier League team involved. So what division is the champion? Oh, you each get a point on that one.
Well,
You just gave it away.
Bristol City.
You each get
I
a
knew
point.
you knew
Yeah.
that, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that one I'm familiar with.
Right. So you each get a point because I said it. I'm a terrible host at game shows. But then how many places are in between Huddersfield and Bristol City?
It's actually the more fun question. Let's say 21.
14.
Ron gets the point. There's only 11 on this.
Which is kind of close, actually.
Right. Because Bristol City at the
I was trying to give
current
Huddersfield some
time
help.
because Bristol City at the current time are in 11th, I believe, in the championship. So they are quite a ways down there. And to give you kind of a perspective on where the other teams are, and sorry I didn't have this earlier, but when you're talking Gillingham, who's in League One, they are currently 19th out of 24 in League One. And Accrington Stanley is 13th out of 24 in League One. So these teams aren't like top of their leagues. Like
No, they still beat Cardiff.
they still beat Cardiff and they still beat Huddersfield Town. Moving along. This one also not quite as bad, but you have Norwich City 0, Portsmouth used to be in the Premier League years ago. 1-0 over Norwich, courtesy of an Andre Green goal in the 90+4. Although there was a red card for Norwich in the 15th minute. So
A horrible, horrible challenge.
yeah, well, they went a long time without scoring. It did not look like they were going to get one, but they got one real late and they needed it. So, gentlemen, what league is Portsmouth currently in?
Because Norwich is in championship.
Correct.
Portsmouth, I would have said they're in championship, but I guess not. I'm going to go League 2.
Ron?
League One.
Ron gets the point. They are in League One. They are actually top
Are
of
they
League
the
One.
club
at the
that
top
just
right.
got bought by someone? Are they from American? Is that
Possibly?
I don't know. I'd have to look it up.
Question mark? But they are
who's
currently...
the team that Michael Eisner bought?
Oh, it's not Portsmouth, I don't think.
Who did they buy?
I don't know. I'll look it up right
Look that
now.
up. Yeah.
Yeah, but they are top of League One on 57 points at the current time after 26 games played. So, with that being said, what is the
Portsmouth.
It is Portsmouth.
Oh, wait, it is Portsmouth. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow. All right.
Do I get a half point for that one?
No. That was not part of the official rules of what the what? It's the FA Cup.
I wish we had music.
Wah, 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 wah. No whammies, no whammies.
Okay, so what is the difference in number of league places between these two clubs?
12.
Ron?
I'm going to say 8.
Blake, it's the point. It's actually 23 places
Oh,
in between them.
bigger than I thought.
Wow.
Because Norwich, I believe, is actually I have it right here. They are second in the championship. And Portsmouth first
I should have
in
known that.
League Two. Yeah, they're up there.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Blake, it's the point. Right now, it's 5-3. Ron in the lead with about 4 matches left. So now we get to Oldham Athletic 2, Fulham 1.
What the what?
And I actually watched this game too, and I turned away to watch a different game that's actually on this list because Fulham went ahead with an early goal, or not an early goal, but they went ahead with a Dennis Adoy goal in the 52nd minute, and then there was and
the Fulham fans must be furious over this one.
And then there was a penalty converted, and then a lovely strike by Callum Long in the 88th.
You also expected that once it was 1-0, Fulham was going to walk with this.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I turned away, and I actually watched a different match.
Oldham Athletic looked old and
non-athletic.
Old Athletic is in the National League. I want
Ron?
this to be horrible.
Ron
I want this win to be awful. For
I think they're in League 2.
Ron gets the point. They are in League 2. Close.
I was being evil.
You were being evil. Okay,
it's
so
not much better.
how many? What's the difference in the number of league places between these?
League.
Oldham's in League 2.
League
Fulham
2.
are in the Premier League. So that's 3 leagues
38.
down. Ron?
I want it to be awful.
48.
Ron gets the point. 59 places in between the two. What the what? It's the FA Cup.
Oh, my God.
Crazy. Right now, Oldham are 10th
I'm just
in
done
League
already.
2.
Like, holy.
Yeah, and Fulham are what? Second to last in the Premier League.
Ugh.
Again, that's not the worst of them. Okay.
Which, you know what? Just for a moment of pondering what we're actually talking about, how hard it really is for a team to take themselves out of the basement of almost any of these lower tier leagues to get to the Premier League.
Oh, yeah. And that they're playing Premier League talent. Yeah, yes, a lot of these teams are putting out second teams, which I think is I'm not a fan of, because the FA Cup still has, look, this is a lot of magic we're talking about, right? You have these teams so low that are beating these Premier League giants, if you will. So and it's a lot of the chance for a lot of these teams, like a team we'll get up to here soon.
Well,
but
we've had teams win the FA Cup that got relegated.
yeah, but
Right.
but you want to win hardware. This might be some team's only chance to do that. So why these teams aren't taking it as seriously as they could? Yes, I know you're going to be in a fight for the Premier League, but you don't usually play until it gets really later in the rounds. Play 2 weeks or 2 games in a week,
And you know
based on the Premier League and FA Cup. Normally it's a Premier League and then a FA Cup weekend, and then they kind of get a little bit towards the end there where you're playing 2 in a week. But it's not that terrible.
the other thing is the major headlines that your team makes in a lower tier league beating a Premier League team, even if it is the likes of Cardiff City or Fulham or Leicester or
That's huge.
your team never makes the headlines
59
like
places between.
Oh yeah,
Right.
And these teams want to play the Premier League giants. It's not like these teams don't want to. They want to, because they want the TV money associated. They want the gate sales if they're being played at home. They want to go up to Old Trafford or the Etihad. Like they want that money. So and then they come out and they just want it more than a lot of these teams. Even if you're a second team squad for Arsenal or for United, like you should want to play your heart out, because now you're getting a chance to show what you're about. So.
It's like, what was it, a couple of years ago with that, the guy the goalkeeper who serves pies at halftime.
Oh, yeah.
And then he got busted for eating the pie.
Salford United or whatever it was, or
Yeah.
there's something like that.
I mean, the passion that team had to go as far as they did.
Yeah. Absolutely great.
So that should put some things into perspective.
Oh, yeah.
Is that
Absolutely.
Mickey Bubbles? Mickey no.
No, that's the West Ham guy.
Oh.
He's the one that
Oh, yeah.
refills the bubble machines at the matches. And that was God, what was that name?
Mickey
He was a
Bubbles.
portly
the
fellas.
guy who was
no,
selling
no.
the pies and
Right.
and
I can't remember.
pouring the beers.
He was a
right?
keeper.
Yeah,
He was a keeper, yeah. Or he was their like backup keeper or whatever. Okay, moving along. Doncaster Rovers 3, Preston North End 1. 3 lovely goals and early by Doncaster, and they really they took this game to town. I will tell you where Preston North End is if you don't know. They are in the championship currently. But where?
did not know that.
All right, so I want to say that. But where are the Doncaster Rovers?
League 2.
League One.
Ron with the point again. League One.
What's on your laptop there, Bob?
What you got? Do you get the BBC site up there?
Okay, just checking, okay.
Let's see. Okay. Yeah, the gap's starting to get here. Blake with 3, correct. Ron with 8. So, how many places in the leagues are they?
So League 1 to championship. Let's say 20.
14.
Ron with the point. 13 league places. Currently, Doncaster Rovers are 6th in League One, and Preston North End are currently 17th in the championship. This one, the last two are fun. So, this was actually the game that I switched out for the Fulham game to watch, which was Barnet 1, Sheffield United 0.
Shaquille O'Neal scored this.
Shaquille O'Neal scored a lovely pen in
nice
the
PK.
21st.
How do you say his name?
Shaquille Coulthurst.
Colthurst?
Yeah.
Coulthurst.
Coulthurst.
Coulthurst. I like it.
Yeah.
He
And
hangs out with Killy Key Williams.
Killy Key Williams.
Killy Key Williams, yeah.
And Sheffield
B.
United.
Killy Williams with some Colt 45.
Mad Dog 2020.
Hey, those commercials were super
Are
popular.
you kidding? Yeah.
Okay, so Sheffield United are in the championship, but where is Barnet?
The national team. We haven't had one. We haven't national.
Okay.
League 2.
Blake with the point.
So we
They
had
are
to
in
get
the
one.
National League.
We had to
That's
get
the
one in
lowest
there somewhere, right?
Yeah. So from the championship all the way down to the National
Ooh,
League, what's
this
the
is the worst
difference
one.
in
This
the
is the worst
number of league places?
From champion. So it's like 20 some,
So
24.
there's 24 teams, and yep. I'm not going to give you where Sheffield United's at,
Sure.
but they are having a pretty good year in the championship. I will say that. So you have 24, then another 24, then another 24, and then you get down to the National League.
That's 72 if you're doing the
I know,
math at
yeah.
home. I just gave him a help.
So I'm going to go with 68. We're going to say it's really bad.
Ron?
78.
Ron with the point. 84 league places in between them. Sheffield United currently
Good Lord.
3rd in the championship. 3rd.
Get blanked.
Like they're going to be they could be in the Premier League
blanked.
next year.
They possibly could be. And yes, Billy Sharp, their prolific scorer, didn't come in the second half, but they just couldn't get over the line. And Barnet right now, they're not even having a good year in the National League. They're in 15th out of 24 teams in the National League right now. So 84 places. And then last but not least, Newport County 2, Leicester City 1. In one of the craziest endings to the FA Cup. And this, I believe, was actually the last, or it wasn't the last game of the FA Cup, it was the last game of yesterday's games. Crazy ending. This game played at Newport County as well. Leicester City, is in the Premier League. Where are Newport County?
League 2.
League 1.
Blake with the point.
Nice.
League 2.
Good job.
I was worried it could be another National League since we hadn't only did one of those.
So from the Premier League down to League 2, what is the difference in the number of league places?
So, okay. 50.
Ron?
44.
Blake with the point.
Nice.
74 places.
Ooh.
the second largest of the third
Leicester,
round.
Leicester, what the hell?
And they still had good players on display there. It's not like they sat everybody. Okazaki started. I mean, they did well. 74 places, and currently Newport County are again not really having that great of a year. They're in the 13th place in League Two, and then obviously Leicester City is currently sitting fairly high up the table, and they're sitting at 7th. So a lot of places.
Wow,
Ron, congratulations! You win the first ever. What the what? It's the FA Cup. 9-6 scoring wise.
We're gonna do another one of these.
Well, the third round is really the only round we can really do it, because you do get these kind of fairy tale games, and then the further it goes on, you tend to weed out, or you really know who those fairy tales are. So if like Barnett's to go far, you're like, oh, a national team still, like you more or less still know. But the FA Cup concluded today. Arsenal won, United won.
Barnett's who I'm rooting for now.
Yep. Arsenal beat their opponent. United beat their opponent. Chelsea beat their opponent. Liverpool did not. They lost to Wolves today.
Yep.
And then the draw was made shortly thereafterwards, and there are some juicy ones up for the draw. You have Swansea versus Gillingham, who we mentioned earlier on this. Wimbledon versus West Ham. Shrewsbury versus either Stoke or Wolves. They have to play a replay. So a replay in the FA Cup is if you draw your game in the third round, all the way up to the fifth round, I believe there are draws. Or I'm sorry, there are replays all the way up to the fifth round. So if you drew, so Stoke and Wolves drew, I believe they drew 1-1. They play a replay in the next week or two before they go to the fourth round. So Shrewsbury will play either of them. Then you have Millwall versus Everton, Brighton versus West Brom, Bristol City versus Bolton, Accrington Stanley versus either Derby or Southampton. How bad do they want Southampton, somebody in the Premier League?
Oh, yeah.
That'd be cool. You have Doncaster and Oldham, which is nice because then one of those teams are going on. But you kind of wanted to see like a Doncaster play a Arsenal and an Oldham play Man City. You know, you wanted one of those things. But still a nice match there. Chelsea versus either Sheffield Wednesday or Luton Town. Again, that they drew, so they'll play a
Luton Town's the
replay.
one that, like, I have a friend I worked with at Epcot that her dad's like a partial owner, something crazy. They got like a box in the.
Oh, no way.
Town.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Newcastle versus either Blackburn or Watford. Middlesbrough versus Newport County. That's kind of cool. I believe Middlesbrough is in the championship. And then we talked about Newport just a second ago with that big win over Leicester, who are all the way down there in League Two. So it's a good matchup for them. And one that they could probably win, too. Man City versus Burnley. So, yeah. Barnet versus Brentford. So you're Barnet.
Come on, Barnet.
And I believe Brentford's in the championship. So still a good, another championship team that they could try to take out again. Another 80-some spots. Portsmouth versus QPR. Like, that's an old, like, 2007 Premier League match right there.
Yeah, really.
That's awesome. And then Arsenal versus Man United and Palace versus Tottenham. And that rounds up what your fourth round matches will be, which I believe is played towards the end of January.
26th.
There you go.
Crazy. What a cool game show. Nice job.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Yeah, well done.
What the what? It's the FA Cup.
I can confidently say that your game show is better than this beer.
Yeah.
I'm kind of glad you forgot it for the Boxing Day special. It would not have sat well next to those other
Correct.
beers.
No, I agree. Again, I had no clue what it tasted like. I just, the name, when we talked about it on the pod, and we're like, we wanted to try it. So
It falls into one of the worst crimes. It's not bad.
Just doesn't meet
It's not. Yeah, but it's just not. Well, I don't really taste a Saison.
No, not at all. You should have just left it at an ale. It's too sweet and honey like in the middle part.
And weirdly bitter as I drink it too. A bitter that doesn't match.
The color's also off a bit.
Yeah, it's a little dark for Saison. Sometimes there's Saison, but yeah. I'm with you. Well, that was a heck of a fun Festive Fixtures time, y'all.
Yeah, it was.
I can't believe it came and went so fast.
Man, a lot of fun storylines. We got a race at the top and the bottom.
Well, we do, and the Festive Fixtures are done, but now we're gonna have Champions League back. We're now getting into the 4th, 5th round, 6th round of the FA Cup.
Don't forget
We
the
also have
Chupacabra Cup.
The Chupacabra Chimichanga Hot Sauce Cup, which is awesome as always.
And by that he means the Carabao Cup, and it's an energy drink.
Correct.
The Caribou Coffee Cup.
Correct. And
There's
then,
no coffee.
did I mention Champions League?
Yes.
Still there? Yeah.
Wait, Champions League?
Champions League's come
Little
back
thing
in
that happens.
early February. So
Yeah. A lot of soccer.
a lot of soccer still to happen.
And there's a lot of
Sometime.
Carabao Cups games coming up here in January. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Tottenham and Chelsea play on the 8th. Manchester City and Burton Albion play on the 9th. Then Burton Albion plays Manchester City on the 22nd, and Chelsea and Tottenham
They
play
do 2
again
legs, yeah.
on the 22nd of January. So keep your eyes peeled for that. There's going to be some fun matches there.
Well, gents, I think that wraps us up. As
That
always, follow us on Twitter, Facebook. If you leave us a review on iTunes or Stitchers or Apple Podcasts, however you find us, take a screen grab, drop us a line either on social media or our email, thebrutifulgame@gmail.com. We'll get a koozie and some magnets out to you. Also, follow us on Untapped so we can find out what beers you're trying, and as well as vice versa. You see what we've got. Tried some new ones from a new local brewery this week that I shared with them from Sun Creek Brewery in sunny Claremont, Florida. Website's thebrutifulgame.com. Am I leaving anything out?
Instagram.
Oh,
Yep.
Instagram. Don't forget us. It's so Instagrammable. We've got the Instagrams.
Okay, Dad.
I think you got to leave us with a dad joke on
Right.
this.
God, I always forget about this. So I always forget to keep the book handy. All right.
Can I have a round of jalapeno poppers for the boys?
For the boys here? No, jalapeno.
Jalapeno poppers.
Yeah. The last dad joke from the dad book joke was really good.
Yeah, that was actually good.
Yeah, it was.
Stephen Hawking one.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, man. No, that's a terrible one.
That makes it good.
Oh, the last one that was good was the one about what is Charles Dickens keeping
Yes.
the spice right?
Yeah. That was good.
That one was
very
The
good.
best of times, worst of times.
Yeah. That was really good. Oh man, these are. I'm trying. Oh, these are man.
All right, start at the top of the book, and I'll call it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, we'll just
top
do
of
the random
page.
draw.
Yep.
Okay.
Start at the top, and I'll say when. When.
Oh jeez. Okay. What did the dad say when he was asked if all of his warm weather clothes were comfortable?
What?
Summer.
Jesus.
Where do books sleep? Under their covers.
Ferris is losing his mind over here.
Summer.
What do you call a group of angry drivers in an Egyptian traffic jam?
What?
Oh my God, that's elaborate.
I don't know.
Tutankhamun.
It's time to go home, folks.
There you go. Like to end the show really strong. Love the beer. Cherish the game, gentlemen. The Brewtiful Game.
It was slop.